Hi and welcome to my Python YouTube channel. It's awesome to have you here. If you like this video, a thumbs up would be great. And make sure to subscribe for future videos. I also have a blog at prosperocoder.com with lots of cool stuff, so feel free to check it out. Today we'll be talking about the build modifier with Python. I'll be using the 2.90.1 version of Blender. The build modifier is used to construct the mesh gradually, piece by piece. I'll demonstrate it on an example of a UV sphere. Now, here are the steps to go. Step 1. Add the build modifier manually. So first, open a new file in Blender and save it. I always start my projects by saving the file right away, before I even start doing anything in it, because then I don't forget to do that. Now, here we can get rid of this default cube. So let's select it, X to delete, delete. Now let's create a UV sphere. So Shift A, Mesh, UV sphere, fine. And let's scale it 5 times. So S5, Enter. And now let's add the build modifier. So here in the modifier tab, let's add the build modifier. This makes the sphere disappear. Now, if you play the play animation button here, the sphere will be built face after face in a specific order. Step 2. Change the start frame and duration of the effect. You can change the start frame and duration of the effect. Let's make the building process a bit slower and start at frame 20. You can set the values in the modifier steps. So here, let's start frame to 20. Length should be 280. And also let's change the end in the timeline to 300. Over here. And now let's go to frame 1 if we're not there, and let's hit the play animation button again. Now it will take more time to build the mesh, and you can see it better. Good. Step 3. Randomize the build order. You can also randomize the order in which the faces are built. To do that, just check the randomize checkbox over here, and then go back to frame 1 and play. Good. Step 4. Deconstruct the mesh. You can also deconstruct a mesh instead of building it. To do that, check the reversed checkbox over here. Now go back to frame 1 and hit play. This time the mesh will be complete at the beginning, and then the faces will disappear in a random order, assuming you didn't uncheck randomize over here. Fine. Step 5. Add the build modifier in Python code. Now that you know what the build modifier does, let's see how to add it in Python code. First of all, let's delete the UV sphere. So, X to delete, delete. And make sure the end frame of the timeline is set to 300. Then go to the scripting workspace over here and add a new script. Let's make it a bit bigger. Now I have the script ready here. Let me type it in. Good. We're gonna create 30 UV spheres in 3 rows with 10 spheres in each row. In the middle row, the spheres will be built in a predefined order. In the last row, the spheres will be built in a random order. And in the foremost row, they will be deconstructed in a random order. The code is pretty straightforward, although pretty lengthy. Let's have a look at this. So we import BPY, the BPY module, which is necessary for most stuff you do in Blender Python. So now each row is going to be built in a for loop where 10 spheres will be created. Now the first part is about the middle row, where we will be building in predefined order. So we have to create a UV sphere first and scale it. We use the primitive UV sphere add method to add a sphere, and we specify the location on the X, Y, and Z axis. Now this is the middle row, so Y and Z are set to 10, 10 respectively. Now the row in the back will be 20 and 20 for Y and Z respectively, and the row in the front will be 0, 0. Now we create the UV sphere and we use the resize method to scale it by the factor of 5. Then we add a modifier using the modifier add method, and we specify the type of the modifier to build. Next, we set the start frame and the total time of the build effect. So modifiers with the key build, the start frame should be 10 times I, so they will appear one after another, and the frame duration is set to 50. So this is the middle row. Now here's the last row. So here we're gonna build in random order. So again, we first add the UV sphere, we set the scale of the sphere, and we add the modifier. We set frame start and frame duration, just like before. We also want to randomize the order in which the faces are created, which corresponds to checking the randomized checkbox, which we did before. And here we have to set the use random order to true. Then, in the first row, we want to deconstruct in random order. So, again, we first create a UV sphere, we scale it, we add a modifier, we set frame start, frame duration, and use random order because we want to do it in random order too. And here, to deconstruct the mesh instead of building it, we have to set use reverse to true. Fine. And now step 6, run the script and watch the effect. So, here's the 3D viewport where we're gonna see the effect, but it's pretty small, so let me just run the script and then switch to layout workspace. So press this button to run the script. You can see the spheres over here. And now let's go to the layout workspace, zoom out like that. Good. And now we're ready to play the animation, so make sure you're at frame 1 and hit play. So this is the middle row. We're building the spheres in predefined order. Here we're building the spheres in randomized order, and here we're deconstructing the spheres. And that's it. Okay, that's it for this video. If you like it, a thumbs up would be great. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos. If you want to leave a comment or ask a question, you're welcome to do so. Thanks for watching.